Good morning, everybody. 2016 season's on us. I'm so excited. We got work to do today. Oh, Nelly. I cannot wait to get started. We got, as you've seen through the past videos, we got our new equipment for this year, well broken in. You know, we got the Gravely. We got all the same hand tools that we had. We got a new truck, four-door truck that you see now. We got the trailer enclosed. It's a shorty. It's a smallie, but it fits in my garage and it's perfect for what I need for right now. But I have a feeling I'm going to outgrow it in about 2 months. But, you know, if so, great. I'll sell it, get as much as I can for it, and buy another one. But it's got to fit in the garage. It still has to be a shorty. But maybe I'll see if I can find a shorty that's wider and longer. Maybe I'll have to special order it now that I know they can do it. I never knew they could do it. I was so excited. I was like, bam, there's the money. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, we got my printouts ready to rock. They're right here. All my customers that I need to do today. Looks like we're heading out for a 9 lawn day today. And it's not going to be the smallest of 9 yards, but it's good. Now, some of them might be an issue. We're just going to have to see. I haven't heard back from everybody. Mostly everybody has responded back, you know, once with my little emails I sent out or my little my invoices that I gave them saying, hey, we're starting on the 21st. You know, pretty much like it or not, we're coming, and you're going to fall in either this week or the next week. And to contact me if you want to be done sooner. But, you know, if not, piss off. Not so much, but we'll be there. You know, we're coming. A lot of people have called and asked me to come earlier. You've watched videos of that where I have come earlier. And I got my first dropped customer yesterday where a customer actually called and said, well, emailed me and said, we're not going to be continuing service. We have financial difficulties, and to save money, we're going to do it ourselves. That's cool. I can appreciate that. I'll probably go by there and see somebody doing it for $20 or $30 less. Let me get out of this truck's way. All right, he's just backing into the hole. But, you know, if that's the case, that's the case. If that's not the case, whatever. I don't have no complaints. Just about everybody's come back except for a few that have moved, a few renters and stuff like that. Nothing to be overly concerned about at all, really. Hold on one second. I need to visit my favorite place here real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so yeah, we got 9 to head out to do today. It would have been 10, but we're gonna do 9 because of that one that we did let go, that let me go. Now it could go as low as 7 because we might have an issue. I got 2 yards that are side by side, right next door to each other, and one of them has a balance still from last year, and I'm a little bit upset with that person because that person's been kind of working with me, and then, you know, they didn't make good on their end of the deal. So I'm probably going to drop them, more than likely. It sucks to drop them because it's a small yard, there's no fence, and it's right next door to another customer I have on that street. It's a quick, like 80 bucks in about 45 minutes to do those 2 yards together, and it's going to hurt to drop it. But principle, you know what I mean? If they're not paying their bill, they're not paying their bill. So I'm going to have to see. And the neighbor lady is the one who initiated me last year, and then she got me that neighbor. She was like, yeah, you know, when you're here, the neighbor's probably going to come out and want you to do his yard too. And so it's like, great, okay, well, if that's the case, it's the price for both of y'all. And I gave the price, you know, for both, which worked out nice. So if I drop that one, that's going to be a little bit painful, like I said. And hopefully I don't lose the neighbor because she'll want to be done with the other guy. Now maybe the other guy is going to come out and give me a check today. Maybe, I don't know. I'm definitely going to do the lady that originally initiated the phone call with me last season, and you know, we got hooked up and started on everything. I'm definitely going to do that. She's my customer. She has no balance, but I just hope that she doesn't drop me, you know, because maybe the neighbor gets somebody else, and so she wants to stay with somebody else and doesn't necessarily have loyalty. That would suck, but whatever. I mean, if that happens, that happens. Whatever. I'll replace them with somebody else fast. But In fact, I kind of did, because in that neighborhood I picked up a once a month $50 cut. So instead of every 2 weeks going for 40 bucks or 30 bucks for those yards, it's 50 bucks once a month or every 4 weeks, because her yard just does not grow. And we did the trees on Saturday, which I didn't video because her and her husband were all over, you know, so, but I can't video everything. But we did a huge tree job Saturday and put all the clippings out by the road for the county to take today. I don't think they're going to take it. I think it's going to be too much. I think they're going to give problems. And I gave her a price for us to take it away. But that yard just does not grow. And I know, I mean, you can tell. And it doesn't have weeds. It's all just grass. And because of all the trees, all the crepe myrtles that were in the backyard, there's just no nutrients or anything getting to the grass. So it's really bad. But, you know, but we talked about it and we discussed, you know, hey, if things start going a little bit crazy, we'll move you up. So at least I got that kind of picked up, you know, and that'll be an easy 50 bucks. It really is. I did the first cut of the year Saturday, and then we went right into the trees, and I used the push mower, my 21-inch mower, on the whole yard, because it's such a small yard and it's got a small gate and it's a wet yard, one of those mushy wet yards. So quick, easy 50 bucks in and out, about 40 minutes at the most, 35, 40 minutes at the most, using just my little mower. I'll take it. And as promised, guys, got you a new camera. We got the Sony Action Cam for outdoor use, so it's not so bleached out, kind of like bleaching out right now, but not as bad. But out in the sun, like if you watch yesterday's crossblade video that I made, you can't really see the details in the yard. You miss so much. So I did go out and I bought this. It's not super fancy. It's not the greatest, best one they have, but I don't really plan on doing too much with this. I want to learn it and get you guys some good action footage. You guys really like mowing footages and stuff like that. So we can do that, and we can do some talking, some voiceover over the mowing clips and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not really a music video channel. You know, I don't mind doing mowing and stuff like that, but I'm not going to spend hours upon hours editing film video to give you guys a 20-minute. I mean, I just can't do that. I'm married with children. My wife has seizures. I mean, I got my hands full over here, and I try to give you guys good content every day. You know, good information and stuff. So, you know, at least like some form of a lesson every day, something. Try to talk about something that will help your business, or you know, something that could hurt your business, or just something that I've learned, you know, a lessons learned type deal, or give you some old man advice, like I used to call it last year. You know, something to give you guys something to think about, and maybe, you know, be able to put into your business. But we'll see. So we're heading out now to the first yard and the next yard. Senior citizen couple, far away, right? I tell you guys all the time, I love them to death. They love me. They see me, they start doing cartwheels, and they're in their 80s, so it's scary. On the way to the senior citizen couple, I picked up this winter, I picked up the daughter of another woman that I'll be doing today, later, one of the last yards of the day. So her daughter, I lined up to fall on the same day as the senior citizen couple. And I did her, I think a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't remember, but we did the cypress tree removal that day. And it was hustling got me this job or something like that. And it was, I cut that tree down. It might have been a part 1 and a part 2. I don't know. It was like 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this yard shouldn't be in that bad of shape. Did a really thorough leaf and gumball cleanup at this yard. In fact, I even had my guy come with his truck, and he was able to take all that crap away. So we made huge gains in that yard. So it shouldn't be so bad for me to be able to do the yard today. So we're going to do that yard first. On on the way to the senior citizen house, which we're almost at that yard. We're about 5 minutes from that yard. The senior citizen house is about 10 more minutes down the road. So we're cutting it pretty much in half, the route. So instead of driving all the way out there and then driving all the way back to do my day's route, we drive halfway there, do a yard, and then finish, and then drive back, do my day's route. So we did pick up that yard. That helps me with the mileage and stuff like that. And I can't complain, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we got on the docket today. Oh, the Sony camera that I got, the action cam. It's the I don't know, it's got Wi-Fi, so you can connect it to your phone and you can control it with your phone, I guess, or something like that. Comes in a waterproof case up to 30 feet. You can go 30 feet deep in this case right here. It's got a plug for an external mount, but if you want to get to it, you got to drill out the case to use it in the case, the waterproof. I got the mount on it already for my tripod, so I can put it on my tripod and capture some footage today. It'll do slow motion filming, so I mean you can do 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, or just do your regular 30 frames per second, which will, when you play back 120 frames per second in regular time, then it's slow motion because it's capturing it super fast. So play it back in slow motion in regular time, you got that slow motion filming. So I mean, there'll be times for all that. You know what I mean? We'll have an opportunity to do things like that and mess around, but that won't be a part of my daily vlogs. I'll just do videos. Like yesterday, I did a crossblade video. You know, that wasn't a vlog. That was a demonstration or a mowing vid, as you would call it. So I will be giving you guys mowing vids. I know you guys want them. You ask for them, and I'll do them. But it won't be a part of my everyday daily vlogs. But I am going to try to capture something every day on the action cam as a part of my vlog. Just because I know you guys really like it. But you know, man, I'm long-winded. I can talk and talk and talk. So let me close this down. That's the opening monologue today. 2016 season's on us. We are good. We are happy. We are excited. We need to get through this day, we need to get through this week, and we need to get through next week. These next 2 weeks are going to be hell weeks because it's the first time cut for a lot of people since last year. So, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit rough for the first cut for many of these yards, and I'll try to demonstrate that and show you what we're dealing with. So. Appreciate you guys being here. Welcome to the 2016 lawn care season with trimmers. So we got the first one done, and I'm in the middle of argument, you might want to say, with a customer. It's not really an argument. After weeks of me handing out invoices, you know, with saying I'm starting this week, she texted me this morning saying we will not require your services this week. So I text her back, you know, very nicely, but you know, there's a little bit of sarcasm there, and it says basically, look, I'm going to be in your neighborhood today. If I do not do your yard today, I will not be back for 14 days. If at that time it costs me extra time, then there will be additional fees or discontinued service. So I'm waiting for her reply. That happens to be what we talked about this morning. The neighbor of the one that owes me from last year. Do I not know this? Do I not call it? I mean, you know, two pain in the ass customers. One that owes me money and one that is going to tell me when I'm going to show up. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. I'm not desperate, you know what I'm saying? So they got exceptional service from me all year last year. I mean, exceptional service. But I'm not in this business for them. I'm in this business for me. So I'll drive by there and take a look. But those are the two that I said I probably won't be doing today, because one owes me money and the other one's probably going to go with somebody else, because the other one that owes me money is probably going to start trying to hide from me and probably has another lawn service. And so she might, I don't know, we'll have to see what she says. If she comes back and says, okay, I understand, go ahead and do it, great. If she says, no, don't worry about it, we'll see what happens in 2 weeks, great. If she says, I don't like your attitude, I'll get somebody else, great. You know what I'm saying? I'll replace her with a $50 yard, probably by the end of the day. So, we'll see. All right, I'm headed to the senior citizens. All right, so I'm leaving another yard. That's the senior citizen. They're done. Thrilled, happy to see me, all that good stuff. So I like it, love it. They like it, love it. And I pretty much sealed the deal on those neighbors. You know, like I said, I hate to be out the money. You know, I hate to lose the account. They're both right next door to each other, but I can't have inconsistencies. And last year, she would call me sometimes and tell me not to do the yard. And so that would cause me to not do her yard, but not do her neighbor's yard, because I want to keep the two of them together. And so then, you know, an extra week would go by, so an extra week of growth would be there. And then it would screw up my schedule. I would pull into that neighborhood just to do those 2 yards instead of pulling into that neighborhood to do 3 or 4 yards, you know what I'm saying? Or 4 or 5 yards, actually. So, this guy down the road from me called and wants me to do a pressure wash. And it's a 2-story house, so I'll make 3 times the money. So, and make use of my stuff in the bed of my truck. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to finish off, what is it, 7 yards today maybe? I think we're going to do 7 today total. So 7 yards, and then we're going to go do a 2-story house wash. So that's good. And if everything goes okay, then we should be done at a reasonable time, probably around 3-ish maybe. It's hard to tell. But I do have to stop to get some bleach. But hey, whatever, man. We'll make that money. And that's something I said I wanted to do. I want to do, like, you know, I'd like to do like 7 or 8 yards and a house wash. I would like that. Ease off a little bit on the houses, you know, on the mowing, I mean, and, you know, relax a little my body, you know, a little bit less of that, and finish off. I'd love to do a couple houses every day, a couple house washes every day, and you know, 7 or 8 yards every day. Man, that would be awesome. That'd be a great deal for me financially. So I don't know, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But we got a little bit of a long ride here, and then these next yards we'll do some action cam. We'll get some the Sony action cam. We'll do some filming. So this is the sound of the Sony action cam. As you can see, it's probably really tinny, but I think the picture is really nice. Now, I watched review videos, and it doesn't do really clean, crisp, fast speeds filming, and I'll show you what I mean. Here is driving down the road. We're doing 55 miles an hour, and we're just looking straight. We're going to focus on the van in front of us, but look at the side view, look at the trees going by, the grass, not a lot of detail. And that was a major complaint that people had, that this particular model just isn't that great for that. But that's okay, because, you know, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, I don't mow at 55 miles an hour, and, you know, I'm not trying to do too much. Oh crap, let me go, wife's calling. But I wanted you guys to see and hear this. So that's the camera in the case. Okay, so sorry, that was a long conversation, about almost an hour with the wife. So we got this problem with GM, okay? General Motors, the car company. So we bought a new car for Christina a while back, and it was white. Now when we bought it, it was the night before a federal holiday, or maybe it was a federal holiday. It was the last day of the month, and it was a federal holiday. And that's always the best time to go to a dealership, is the last day of the month, because they really want those last sales for their numbers. So we went, we wheeled and dealed, 0% interest. I mean, we rocked it, and we left. Well, it was a time when there was no. Oh, by the way, we're on the Sony action cam right now. There was a time where there was no detailers there, nobody to wash the cars. So they were like, "Hey, come back and wash the car, get it all detailed." Well, we didn't for a while, and then we ended up calling a friend over who has a mobile detail business. My wife and his girlfriend are best friends for like ever, and so he has a car dealership, and in fact, or a car detail, and we talk a lot back and forth about like pressure washers and tanks and stuff because of my knowledge of what I've figured out so far. I've been helping him get his rig set up, so now he's all set up, but that's a different story. So he comes over and details the car, and he gets Christina's attention, and he's like, "Hey man, look at all these rust spots in your paint." And like the whole car has these teeny little rust spots all in the paint. And so we take the car back to GM, and GM's like, "Oh, it's nothing, blah blah blah. It might be rail dust." So rail dust is just exactly what that's called. The cars are on a railroad being moved around, and the metal of the wheels contact the metal of the rail and causes a fine powder of metal to coat the cars. And then if the cars don't get cleaned off immediately, then the moisture will cause rust spots from the metal pieces. So that seems to be what happened in that situation. There's rail dust. They have had our car since November. And here it is now, the end of March. They've had our car since November. Finally, okay, they were trying to wax it out. Then they'd say, "Your car's ready." My wife's like, "No, I don't think it is." And then they would buff out this spot, but then not that spot. And then they repainted this area. And then, so we ended up having 3 different color white on the car. And the rail dust was still there. So finally, we went around with our video camera, and we videoed a whole bunch of white cars, from $50,000 Camaros all the way down to Chevy Cruzes. And when somebody came out, they were like, "Can we help you?" And we're like, "Oh no, we're just documenting all the rail dust on all the cars here for the class action suit that we're going to be doing on behalf of everybody in the area that bought a white car from you that has rust spots in their paint." Well, the very next day, the general manager called us up and said that they would repaint the car. So they repainted the car, and now they're telling us the car is ready. But the bow tie is not even on the car. The bow tie has been removed, I guess, for painting on the front grille, and it's not there. And it's like, you want my wife to go there and get a car after all this, and you don't have the bow tie on it? So we were talking about that, among other things. She's having her fibromyalgia issues, and she's having non-epileptic seizures. All last night, I had to rub her leg and rub her forearm because of the seizures to help her get to sleep. So it's a little rough right now for us at our home, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We're weathering the storm, but the whole deal with this car is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But hey, we're here. We got 3 yards to do right here. There's this one. There's the next door neighbor. Then you skip one, and then there's another one. So we're going to do that right now. And we'll try to get some footage. We'll try to do some video. See what we can do, huh? think we have a problem. I think the screen's fogging up. Anyways, 1's done. 2's done. After this house, 3's done. Mowing. So now we'll weed eat, edge, and get this cleaned up. Cool? You guys remember these from last year? This one got resodded. And she moved away, and the homeowner called me and said continue services. As they're trying to, he was renting it, so now they're trying to sell it. So, here we go. Well, let's see what we can do. Well, I don't know what you guys were able to see, because it looked like the lens fogged up. When the camera gets warm and it's kind of cool out, we had some frost or some moisture buildup in the case here. Probably blocked the lens, so let's go ahead and do some blowing off, and we'll prep it for a final cut. Any big, from the edging. Socialist or a liberal, so I don't believe in sharing the wealth. So while I'm out here working my butt off to create clippings, I don't think it'd be right for me to share those clippings with somebody sitting on their couch right now. That makes me a conservative. So I want to take all the clippings that I'm making here and put them in certain little areas so I could take the mower and clean it up with the mower or rake it up. I don't believe in distributing the clippings. You like how I did that? Want old man tip? Here's an old man tip. When it comes to cutting the grass and the height and all that stuff, remember, there's two heights to cut at. The proper height and the height that looks good to the customer that signs the check. So, don't get too bent around the axle about where you're going to, at what height you're going to cut the lawns at. because there's what looks good, and then there's right. Do what the customer wants, and if it creates a problem for their lawn, if it creates a fungus, if it's just too low, you know, whatever, then that's up to you if you want to educate your customer. If it's too thick and you have to cut it up high, then you got to charge them extra to get it to the height they want. But ultimately, the height they want is what looks good to them. They don't care about that, oh, 3 inches is what you're supposed to. They don't care. Don't get bent around the axle about it. If you can get your mower through it, set it to 2.75, 2.5, whatever. But if you go too low, you risk a lot of damage. You risk a lot of wearing down your deck and your blades really fast with sand. So, you know, watch out for that. Stumps and everything like that. But 3 inch, 2.75, whatever. It's up to you, okay? But ultimately, it's up to the customer. They're the ones writing the check. So far I kind of like this camera. It's nice and small and light. I do like that. I just had it in my pocket while I was finishing up. So that's kind of cool. I had it in my little cargo pocket, or they call it the media pocket or whatever, on these Dickies, these pants. It fit right in my cargo pocket in my shorts. That's kind of cool. Now this whole fogging up issue, in case the footage fogged up and I couldn't share it with you guys, I did a whole bunch of video of mowing and some blowing. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to share with you because the cover fogged up. So I did see some tricks that people put. They taped those little moisture bags. You know, like you'll find them in products you buy. There'll be those little things, do not eat or whatever. Little moisture bags. So I might need to get that and put that in this case. But I also don't plan on going swimming with my camera. So, I mean, I could modify this case a little bit, just do a little bit of drilling here and there so air will pass through and, you know, stop it from doing that crazy fogging up. So, but, yeah, we got to go fertilize a yard. The guy called me and asked me when I could do it, and I'm right in his area, so I was like, I'll do it right now. So this isn't a big profit one. I'm only going to make about $8 on this fertilize job. But he is a homeowner association president, and so you got to know where to, you got to know which bread to eat and who's buttering it, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go take care of him. And then we got 2 yards to mow that were on the schedule. And we got 2 yards we're not going to mow because one owes me a grip and one is playing scheduling games, and she didn't have the courage to call me or text me back. She just said what she said, and that's it. So in 2 weeks, I'll go there and I'll probably tell her $60. And if she don't like it, whatever. Because, like I said, I replaced her already with a $50 yard. And the other one hasn't paid his bill anyway. So what's good for working if you're not going to get paid? So instead of going in there and doing one $40 yard, I'll go and do a $50 yard that is exactly across the street from a customer that I did Friday. So I'll line those 2 up, and that'll be a nice stop to do those 2 yards. And this one's also going to have some extra work in it. So once I do this fertilizer job and I do the next 3 yards, I will then figure out what's the deal with gonna go and pressure wash. Not a very big money day today, but it turns out to be a good day. I'm close to my target. I'll be close to my target of 400. I'll go over 400 if I use the if I do get the house wash. I'll be under 400 if I don't. But I didn't advertise to get a single one of these customers that I'm doing today. I mean, these are all grandfathered in customers. So, I mean, I'm just falling in on my business, and that's pretty awesome. So, we'll just have to see how things go. Oh, goodness gracious, this guy's already out. Okay. Yeah, and he's got a mess. Alright, so let me go and do what I gotta do here. Yeah, he's out already. Be right back. Okay, so, wait, let me look at something. Yeah, it's working. So, I did the fertilizer that I told you I was going to go do, and I just did a nice $50 yard and bounced out of there. But that yard now, he wants me to pine straw, so it's like 20 bales of pine straw. He wants the house pressure washed. He wants the front and back porch, sidewalk, driveway, everything done. So big deal. So the whole deal. I mean, everything. Just about everything I do, we're going to do. So he's like, you know, whenever you can get to it. And I didn't realize Easter's this weekend. So, and so's my wife's birthday. So, but we got problems back at the house right now. Wife's feeling really bad. The car, she went to go pick up the car, and the car, they didn't paint it. They said that they painted the whole car. They didn't paint it. We got before pictures, and now she shows up with the before pictures, and she's looking at them, and she's looking at the after pictures, and now there's dings in the freaking car. She's like, what is this? And there's chips in the paint. So she's ballistic right now, and she's about to have a seizure. So we know when she's going to have one by her symptoms. So she's laying down in bed right now. It's non-epileptic, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just very painful cramping that she's going to have happening. I usually rub them out for her, but I mean, I'm here. So I'm going to do this yard here. And then I need to assess what I'm going to do the rest of the day. It's 3:06 right now. So I got to get this one done, and then I'm done with everything that was on my schedule except for those other two that are in this neighborhood. But I do have that one other one that I can go do, that the guy asked me if I could do it today, and I said, yeah, but I could always text him back and just say, hey, man, I got things at the house. So we'll see. I'm just not too interested in working until 6 o'clock tonight. But, you know, these yards are slowing me down. They're a mess. That last yard I just did. Whew. A mess. So, and those three that I did together, a mess. Extra edging, extra blowing off, but whatever, man, we get them done. We get them done, we knock them out, right? All right, guys. Okay, so I'm going to finish up my video with you guys here on this camera because I'm still learning the action cam, the Sony action cam. I say action cam, I don't mean action. That's just what it's called, the Sony action cam. So I know this sucks right now because of the light, but I don't know how the Sony action cam is going to come out, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to say thanks for hanging out today. I'm going to reschedule the pressure wash job, and I'm going to reschedule that $50 lawn I got. We came in right at 300 today. It's not the 400 I'm looking for, but it's there. The potential is there. Actually, this would be a over $400 day if I have the patience and I do those other 2 yards, or even just the one that doesn't owe me back, and I do the 50, so $90. You know, we'll be at 400, and we would be done at about this time with another $100. But you know, I'm backed up. I had a long conversation with the wife today over a bunch of crap with the car. She's got the seizures, so I got to keep her calm. She's stressed over the car right now, so I need to be home by 4:20. It's 3:52 right now, so I got to be home by 4:20 for the kids because I don't know what condition my wife is in, and I don't want the kids to find her laying in bed cramping up because it's not pretty, you know, it's painful. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Thank you, everybody, for your well wishes. I really do appreciate it. And I know you've done it in the past and you're thinking it now. So I do appreciate that very much. I hate leaving work on the table, but I don't have a choice. And it's there. You know what I mean? It's there. It's not going anywhere as long as I communicate with the 2 customers, the pressure wash job and the $50 job. I don't even know if I can get the $50 job done tomorrow, because tomorrow I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 to do tomorrow, but it's all in one area. I should be able to get to that $50 one tomorrow. So that'll make a nice financial day right there. As far as the pressure wash job I got to do, I don't know. We'll have to see how Thursday and Friday pans out. Gosh, I just don't know. That's why I wanted to get as much done as possible. Now, it won't be so bad. You know, I hope you guys understand. It won't be so bad. I'll be done. Like tomorrow, I should be done with those 8 yards that I got to do tomorrow. 8, I think it's 8. It could be more, but I got 8 to do tomorrow. and maybe it's 9 now. Yeah, I think it's 9. I should be done. If I've already cut them this year, I would be done by like 1, 2 o'clock, you know, and then I would go and do a pressure wash or 2, or have room to add more lawns. But it's the first cut of the year, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta take a little extra time. And I'm not charging. I know a lot of you guys are yelling at me like, why aren't you charging? You know, it's your business. I'm just happy they're coming back. I want to get them cleaned up, get them back in line, and, you know, kind of set that. Last year was our first year. I don't want to do anything drastic. This year, we're going to have a service agreement, probably around June or July. I'm going to start sending out letters that, hey, take a look at your grass, take a look at the thermometer, take a look at the rain schedule, look at how hard I'm working, keeping you on a 14-day schedule. You know, I'm not going to raise prices on you, but I am going to request that all customers going forward allow me to show up one time a month during the months of November, December, January, and February to ensure that the yard stays clean and in good shape and manageable, so the start of next season won't be so demanding, or however I'm going to word it. Yeah, I want to do something like that. So that way there's no issues, and we just, you know, we just do it. And, you know, if a few customers drop me because of it, then so be it. But I want to set a rapport. I want to give my customers everything I got. I want to show them that I'm the fairest that there is. And, you know, and that way when I do approach them, most of them will say, yeah, you know, I mean, he didn't even come by all winter and he didn't even charge us a cleanup fee. Our last guy charged us a cleanup fee. So, yeah, you know, I'd rather pay Dan to come once a month than pay somebody else to come and do a cleanup fee and we look like shit for 3 or 4 months. So, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get to that point where I can have that conversation with a customer, show them 2 sides to the coin. And, you know, hey, I'm growing, I'm building my business just like you guys are. I take advice from you guys just like you take it from me. So I watch what you guys do. I didn't make this up. I didn't make up coming once a month, you know, making it mandatory. That's in people's service agreements. People talk about it. You guys talk about it. Some of y'all shovel snow. Some of y'all come by once a month. Some guys local around here come by once a month. I mean, it's just, that's what they do. It's a part of their agreement. And then once you set up that rapport with your customer, that, hey, I'm going to come by once a month during these months, I'm going to come by twice a month during these months, hey, why don't we just do budget billing? So instead of you saving some money in the winter and blowing all your money in the summer, let's just do flat rate one price for the month. You know, you're going to be $80 every month and all year long. And that's going to include this many cuts. So, you know, your cut rate goes to this amount of money. And I got to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's $70. So instead of some months they pay me 80 and then some months they pay me 40, every month they pay me 70. Because only maybe 4 months they're going to pay me the 40, but the other 8 months they're going to pay me the 80. So you take 8 times 80. Actually, there's going to be some weeks, there's going to be some months that's going to happen. You're going to come twice or 3 times in the month. So, but you got to take like you got to tell them, look, 8 times 80 is this amount of money. And 4 times 40 is this amount of money. So you got, what, 640 plus, is it 8 times 80? 8 times 8 is 64, right? Yeah, so 640 plus 160. So that's $800 bucks. $800 a year, I think, rough estimate. So you tell them $800 a year divided by 12 months. So if it was 10 months, it'd be 80 bucks. 12 months, it's going to be probably, what, $72? Is that it? I don't know. Well, let's just say that. So you tell the customer, look, give me 72 bucks flat rate, 12 months out of the year, and this is what you're going to get. Period. And those extra weeks where, you know, you're like, but Dan, don't forget, you're screwing yourself. There's some months where you have to eat. Well, there's some months I won't even come because, or I'm going to skip a week because of rain. So it'd be kind of nice to have that buffer where I can set it up with the customer and say, look, in a perfect world, I will be here on this day, 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 in these 8 months. And then on these other months, I'll be here. You'll always be on the 14th of every month. However, there may be some rain. And if I can't come this day, we'll skip it to the next week, and everybody will get pushed back a week. Will that adjust your payment? No. Why? Because in a perfect world, if it doesn't get pushed back, I have two cuts that you're getting kind of free. So, but I know they're not going to. You know what I'm saying? I know they're not going to, because I know the rain will push us back a week. I know it will. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. Maybe I'll take a freaking week's vacation if it gets to the point where, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to do that. Then in October, I'll take a week's vacation. Right? I just say, hey, look, you know, I'm taking a week's vacation because this is how things worked out. But to make $72 a year all year long, you can budget your bills. You can budget your equipment, your needs. You know, you got all that you can work on. So that's something I would like to do, and I would like to get into something like that. You know, start really looking at it this summer once I earn, you know, the respect of my customers that, wow, this guy's not a fly-by-night. He really did come back this year. He really did give us a fair price. You know, he really is doing a hard job, a good job, and you know, then there you go. You know, and you could throw in like 2 fertilizations a year. So now you take, say, $50 of fertilization. Now you add $100. $100 divided by 12 is whatever. That gets added to the $72 or whatever it is. So now they're paying $82, and they get their yard done, and they get 2 fertilizations a year. Now I can budget buying weed and feed or fertilizer in bulk and save money, because I know, okay, these 10 customers are going to need fertilizer now and then. You know, so I can buy that crap in bulk and keep it in my garage instead of wondering who's going to want it and who don't want it. That would save me money. You could also throw in, you know, hey, your yard takes 20 bales of pine straw every year. Well, at $7 a bale install, that's $140. $140 divided by 12. Now you got $80-something. They're getting cut regularly. They get their 2 applications of a weed and feed, and they get their bed spruced up, and now they're paying $100 a month. So $100 a month, they're done. They don't have to do a dang thing at all outside their yard, you know. And so I would like to get to that point, if you know, in time. That's going to take a little bit of time. Right now, I want to build a good rapport with my customers, and you know, keep going from there. So that closes this out, and that was day one. Day one, kind of jumping through my butt, cleaning up some yards. Not as bad as I thought. Gravely did a fantastic job. All my equipment's working really, really well, so I'm not complaining at all. And I appreciate you guys. But it's 4:01. I'm about at my house, and I'll be home in about 2 minutes. So let me get in there, check on the old lady, make sure she's okay. And thank you guys. I really do appreciate you.